Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all latest news that happened during the week of mobile and tech and answer your questions live. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comments section down below and I will answer it before the end of the show. Alright guys, trying out my better quality camera. I thought I would see how much of a difference it is on the stream. So this is a higher end full frame sensor, so it should be a lot better. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if the voice is off, because I didn't have time to see if it was different from the regular camera on the audio sync, so please let me know if it's off, and I will see if I can change it ever so slightly if it is. All right. Now, the first bit of news I wanted to get to is my first week, or first not even week, first couple of days with the Galaxy S23 Ultra. Obviously, the camera video just went up earlier today. We have the hidden features coming out on Tuesday, and then we also, or sorry, the tips and tricks coming out Tuesday. S Pen one coming down later. The best case is coming this week. Although, remind me after the news, I'll actually show you guys the current case I am using. It's called a mouse case, and it's really good. It has MagSafe, like an iPhone, on the case itself, so it's now compatible with all MagSafe accessories. So I have used the wireless charger from iAudi in my car now with this case, and I use this lovely kickstand, which I just dropped. All right, back in. Use this lovely kickstand. Basically, I can have it go like this. So it's a really nice kickstand, also for an arm ring and all that kind of stuff. But I just really do love it because of how stiff the kickstand is from Anchor on that one. So yeah, I like this one as my current go-to, but I'm sure I'm going to go through many cases. I have about 15 cases right here that we'll be going over in the best case video. And this is my current selection, but just thought I'd let you know that at least. All right, now, what are my impressions of the S23 Ultra? Well, first I will say I have not yet been able to do some of the things. So I haven't been able to do the tips and tricks video yet, so I have not sped up and improved the battery life yet. Now, one thing I will say, I did an unboxing and first impression video, but honestly, by the time I would have gotten it out, I was just like, I just put up the camera video instead. I can still put up the unboxing video tomorrow morning. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. That was my first impressions. But overall, I will say that the S23 out of the case seems slower than the S22. I just don't know, like... And of course, I'm going to make it faster. I already know that. I will make it so much faster. And I will, the transitions seem even slower than before. So it's really something else where it's just like, man, the transitions that come on this phone are just so slow. I did bring back the old school, what do you call it? Fire pit lock screen, which is considered the best lock screen in the world still. But yeah, so it was really nice, and I just brought it back just to have it. I had the ocean one on the fold when I went on the cruise, but there's just something about on an OLED display having that one is just really good. So I will say that yes, the photo quality is really impressive. I'll be sending over some photos today on my Instagram and Twitter. So if you don't follow me there, just follow at YouTube Tech Guy and you can see it there. But basically, the photos and videos are very impressive, to say the least. So that is definite. I love having my S Pen back. Already been using it, so it was gone for far too long. And every time I get the S Pen back, I'm like, if the Fold doesn't have it, I'm not going to it. If the Fold doesn't have it, I'm not going to it, because I miss the S Pen so much. Do I miss having my Fold? When I drive, I would say, yeah, like, because I had a bigger screen. So when I would be at a stop, red light, and look at my screen being so much bigger for videos and maps, yeah, it's a little bit, that's when I miss it the most. But overall, I mean, I'm happy. Like the having that camera quality back, having just such a great phone. There is one game that I got so used to having a bigger screen, so that's a little bit Survivor IO. That one is a little bit too. I was like, oh man, it's smaller on this phone. Because I never played it until I had the Fold, and then I only played it on the Fold. So yeah, I do. When people ask me, do you miss the Fold, or how does the Fold compare to the S23 Ultra? Overall, I will say that the S23 Ultra is easily going to be a better camera quality. So that's just, it's plain and simple, very easy, and you know to expect it. It's going to be a better camera quality. Overall, I'm very excited to shoot some video this week. That's what I'm most interested in, and then I'll be uploading some more. Now, you guys did see the first videos that I sent when I was at the Samsung Unpacked event, but there are more that I'm very curious to see how it goes. So yeah, very curious to see how all of these videos will turn out with these ones. But in terms of the phone itself, I'm happy with it so far. It's the honeymoon period. I absolutely love having my S Pen back. Love having the better camera. In terms of speed and battery life, I have to do my video first to really give a definitive on that. But yeah, no bugs or hiccups so far after 48 hours with it. So yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. But definitely excited to see. If you have any questions about the S23 Ultra, please leave them in the comment section, and I will answer before the end of the show. But now let's get to some of the news. So the first big news today is from Apple, and it's not the best news for them. It does look like Apple has sharply reduced the size of orders it has with TSMC. Now they are the #1 manufacturer for Samsung, followed by Samsung. Basically, all iPhones or Apple products either have a TSMC CPU built into it, or they have a Samsung CPU built into it. So basically, it really is a big thing for TSMC. They're the biggest manufacturer of chips, I believe, still in the world, if I'm not mistaken. And the biggest manufacturer is Apple to them. 25% of their revenue comes from Apple. But they have reduced orders by over 120,000 wafers. So that's a lot. I mean, we don't know exactly which ones these were. It's kind of across the board, it seems like, but this has to do with, Apple's chips not selling as well as they can. And, when a lot of people said, oh, why aren't we getting what's their new processor that came out? The M2 Ultra. Why didn't we get an Ultra? Like, they got the Pro and the Max, but not the Ultra. I think it had to do with probably low sales of the previous version, and they had leftover. So I think you're going to be finding that like, MacBooks are still not going to be selling anywhere near PC sales. So that's still a big thing. When it comes to PCs, Apple's still 15% of the world's population not the world's population, the PC market. So it's very small still in comparison to that. And when it comes to smartphones, it looks like obviously they've been having a hard time as they have more premium end smartphones. And in countries where they're not as popular as the US, it hasn't been doing well, obviously. So yeah, that's for the most part that we can see is that they are experiencing a lower demand than usual. And again, I think I talked about that previously. One of the reasons why I think there is such a push for augmented reality and virtual reality and just a new plateau is because smartphones are going in the wrong direction when it comes to demand, right? There is very little demand on, like, hey, we want a smartphone to basically be there. So we want to have a smartphone in every pocket, and we do. Like, that is done. So it really is something where the achievement of so many people having a smartphone has been there. So now it's really okay. Well, every smartphone for the past 3 years really has been about the same speed in terms of to an average consumer. You can have more cores and octa-core processors and all this kind of stuff, but the majority of apps use two processors at most. So it really has become kind of a more flattened thing, where that's why you're seeing neural processors for camera, and all these different processors that basically aren't CPU power anymore, because it's more about how can we take this photo quicker, how can we have your security go faster, and things of that nature. Because overall the CPUs have kind of peaked in terms of a noticeable difference. So I really see it as like, okay, now we need something else to sell us. And if it's not going to be on a smartphone, then what is it going to be? And honestly, that probably is going to be AR glasses and getting that ball rolling, which I'm all here for. I've been waiting for AR glasses. All right. Now, this I thought was kind of an interesting one. There has been a patent by, of all people, General Motors, to have smartphones, or rather touchscreens, that have a self-cleaning mechanism to them. So this is pretty interesting. They registered for the patent, and we don't know how this is going to exactly work or how this is going to be, but basically that they would take grease and oil smudges off. Now, we have seen something like this before, not on the screen, but rather on the back of the phone. If you remember a couple years back, I think it was the LG Round, I want to say it was, maybe it wasn't the Round. It was one of LG's phones. I think it was the one curved like a banana kind of style. No, it was the Galaxy Round and the LG Flex. There you go, Flex. The first Flex had, I believe, the first self-healing back, so that scratches would semi-disappear after a certain time. So I think that was kind of cool to see how that would go. But yeah, that is definitely interesting to see how that is going to work. We'll have to see how the patent turns out. This is a patent, so it could be years away, it could be months away. We don't know, quite frankly, but it is something that's going to come in the future from LG of all companies. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And yes, it was the LG Flex. You are right. All right. And then finally, we have something not so good. And that is that Facebook and Instagram are going to copy what Twitter did and have a paid for verification process. So, I don't think we have final pricing yet. I know some people said $11.99 was the one that people are looking at. And if you get it through iOS or Android, of course, you get the upcharge of $14.99, because Apple and Android get their cut if you do it from the store. So, yeah, this is something that sucks. It sucks that it's going to be like this more and more now. I hope YouTube doesn't even think about this process. And YouTube seems to get consumers more, so I hope they won't do something like this. But I mean, that's a lot. $11.99 per month. So they're even charging more than Elon is for Twitter. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. It's starting later this week in Australia and New Zealand. But yeah, guys, obviously I think this is bad for consumers, and this is a way to make up for tech companies losing a lot of money in compared to previous years. So yeah, they're trying to find another way. I feel like they have a lot of other ways to do it. But you know, it's, I would say if you improve your product more, you will find ways to get more money rather than just charging people for this little verification thing. I don't know. I don't know how much it's helped Twitter Blue be successful. I have not had any desire to join Twitter Blue after this has happened, but let me know what your guys' thoughts are on all of the verification stuff. I'm curious if I'm an influencer and I don't see a need for it. So, like, I like that I have my verification check mark on YouTube, but even that I didn't have for the first like 9 years I was on here. So, I don't know. Not the biggest fan of this kind of things, but let me know again what you guys think. I don't see it as necessary. All right, guys, now let's get to your questions. If you have any questions you want to ask, just please ask them in the comments section down below, and I will answer them before the end of the show. Looks good and sounds good. Seems pretty in sync so far. Good with the audio. Thank you very much, guys, for letting me know. Your voice sounds much better than your old camera. So the voice actually is the same. It's the same mic that I was using before, but hopefully the look looks better. That's the only thing that changed, actually. The mic that I'm using is the Shure mic right here. Cover my eyes. Is the Shure mic. So that is still, you know, the gold standard when it comes to microphones. I have, ever since I got in it, I've never looked back. It is definitely the best one out there, I would say. But yeah, hopefully the look is good. The look is essentially a full frame camera. So, and it was just out of laziness, actually. So normally I shoot with this camera for all of these shows, and that is the Sony EV10. So this is the camera that I normally shoot with for all of these camera videos. But I, you know, had this lens attached to this camera, and I was like, oh, okay, I can put this lens on here, or I could just use this camera. And so I was just like, I'm just going to use this camera. There wasn't too much tinkering to do from my regular setup, so I was just like, let me try it. And it's just, for some reason, the audio didn't work at all at first, and now it was fine after like I reset it. So yeah, that was my only thing. Note, kickstand made for actual kicking. Yes, kickstand is not made for actual kicking, but I literally, if there's one thing about me, and I tell this to case companies too, send me any case with a kickstand, because it's more than likely that one's going to be my permanent one. I do like the MagSafe being able to attach different kinds of kickstands. So like, and of course I got a bunch. So there was this one that I got from Anchor, right? And then I got this one. I forgot which company this is from, but it's like it looked like a thin profile, but actually the circle is slightly thinner. But so this one, you can go like, let's see, I can go like this and have it be a kickstand this way, you know, so you can lay it kind of flat, and then you can also just pop out the whole thing and then have it as a kickstand, either both vertically like this, or have it outward like this. So yeah, this one was kind of cool, but I don't know, I just kind of like the Anchor. I think it's because it's so multifaceted with its angles. Like I can just little bit, like get a fine tune, and I really do like that how stiff it is when setting up different angles. So yeah, really like this one so far, and it's my go-to one. You can just turn it around and either have it either way for vertical or horizontal kickstand. So I like that. Let's see. Are you ready for Android 14? From what I've seen, there's not been, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't looked up too much on it. Been very busy with my day job. I actually did get a promotion, which is cool. You know, more money, more problems. So yeah, I got promotion, which is cool, and just going a lot of work. So yeah, just had a lot to do with my day job, but I knew more than anything that I had to get a lot of videos out for the S23 for you guys. So I took Friday off, went on a lovely date night with my wife, and then went to go see Ant-Man yesterday. So I saw that one, Quantumania. And then on Monday, tomorrow, I am also off of work. Kids are home. Try to get as many videos as I can done. But yeah, that one is going to be definitely when I get some more videos knocked out. I'm planning on filming the tips and tricks video either tonight or tomorrow, just so I can get that one recorded, and then hopefully it'll go up on Tuesday. I have some editing to do tonight, so again, lots and lots of videos coming out this week, and I am on top of them to make sure that I get them out for you guys. And I do want to say just a thank you. Like, you know, sometimes when I put, like, especially these S23 videos, they are so much work. I'm talking about hours of editing and hours of filming. And it's just nice, like, when I see, like, oh, this video for the S23 that did take me hours is getting way more watch time, way more views than normal. And while I do expect that from an S23 video, it's always a nervousness that I'm like, do I still have it? Do I still have the ability to make a video and get hundreds of thousands of views? And it's something that I'd never take for granted, and I always am like, do I still have that ability? Because I neglected with my burnout, with my moving, with creating a whole new set, creating a whole new area. I neglected my channel. So I don't take it for granted that I needed to rebuild. I needed to get back into it. I needed to put in the work. And that's what I'm really trying to do this year. So yeah. Ricky, what are your thoughts on the YouTube CEO stepping down after 9 years? She was a big part of YouTube. How do you think this will affect YouTube? So, you know, it's really interesting. Coming from a corporate world, I've seen how CEOs, COOs, CTOs can affect a company. Like, their vision is essentially what the company's going to be doing, right? It's very interesting when it comes to that. So it's gonna be a change. It's gonna be an adjustment. What they do. YouTube is still so far ahead of everyone when it comes to being a influencer video generated platform. There is nothing near it at this time still. Now, some people might think, what are you talking about? TikTok is like, you know, getting more views now than even YouTube is. Yeah, but depending on how you count views and all this kind of stuff, right? But more so, I will say that YouTube is still where the money is. Advertisers spend more and can track better on YouTube for ads more than any other social media platform. It is more bang for your buck than Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, LinkedIn, Pinterest, any of them. YouTube is still the best one for advertisers. So that being said, it's interesting to see how will it be affected, right? Are they going to go more in that direction of giving more in? Because the CEO of YouTube did not listen to influencers as a whole. I'll tell you that right now. Like, she did listen to certain things that were said, but certain things they were like, no, we're just going to do this way, and that's it. The dislike button. I don't know any influencer that isn't a fan of bringing back the dislike button count. And, you know, they didn't want to do it because it wasn't the CEO's vision. So it really is like, she attributed so much to it. She's going to still be on as a consultant for a while. But, you know, it's curious. Like, I am also a part of YouTube partner things where I get previews into things. So I got a preview into something YouTube is currently working on that no one has access to yet. But I got a preview of this feature that YouTube has, and when they asked me between a 1 and a 5, is this a game changer? 5 being a game changer and 1 being irrelevant. The feature is a 4, and I don't know any influencer that won't use it when it comes out. So there are definite things that are very interesting and that will help YouTube down the line. And I am lucky enough to get invited to a lot of these things, when it comes to seeing behind the scenes of a lot of companies, um, because of the different positions that I have, whether it be as an influencer, whether it be as a marketing manager, whether it be as all these kind of positions that I have had in my career. I get to see a lot of back end stuff. And I will say that the CEO helped a lot, did a lot, attributed a lot, but she also hindered a lot. So where will it go from here? I don't know. There's no way to tell right now at this point. But I'm curious to find out. I am. Can it be more growth? As you know, YouTube hasn't. YouTube has grown over the years, but how much of that was attributed to us being all locked at home, and how much is it, changing now? So it's very interesting because there's more competition. I mean, there's more like tech influencers than ever. There's more influencers in general than ever. So it's very curious how, will it be a rising ship raises all tides or not? That's the curiosity here. All right. Well, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Everybody drink. All right. The fireplace lock screen. Yep. I'm getting my S10 hopefully Tuesday. Ordered on eBay. Nice. Dude, I'm looking for my new higher end camera right now on eBay. So I completely. Sometimes you got to go whichever way is the best deal. Freaky, your thoughts on 1199 Instagram verification mark? Zuckerberg copied Elon Musk in this way. Do you think other companies will follow suit? Like I said, I hope. So I talked about this. Obviously, it was one of the articles that I brought up. I hope that other companies don't follow this. I don't see a verification as that important for me to have one. The only reason is I feel so that people don't get cheated, right? Because there could literally be the YouTube tech guy verified on another platform and it's not me. But because they paid $11.99, they could do people. Now, I'm a smaller influencer, so I don't think I'm that much, quite frankly, as worried as a person that has 1 million followers. They should be worried. Like, they need to buy it, unfortunately, because or else their viewers will keep getting scammed, and none of us want that to happen. So you're only gonna get so many people, and yes, it's added revenue, but how many people are gonna drop off, and how much money are you gonna lose in advertising? Facebook is doing this because of Apple. Let me just make that clear. Facebook is doing this because of Apple's stop tracking, which was complete BS after they a year later turned around and said, or sorry, haven't said because it just hasn't, they've skated around the issue, that their advertising still tracks you even if you have do not track on all social media. So complete BS that they did that to Facebook, basically a monopolistic tendency of, oh, we're going to eliminate this feature from our competitor and then do it ourselves. Very Apple, very annoying. But that is why Facebook is doing this, because they lost a lot of money from advertising. Trust me, as a person that was a social media manager and saw the spend of Facebook go away more and more because of Apple, I know that firsthand. Ricky, my wife is finally updating her S8 and she's looking at the S21 FE. Do you still think it's a better choice than the A series? Yeah, I would say well Yes. Let's go with yes. The S21 FE is going to be good. I would say the only thing is like, are you comparing it to an A53? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, let's see. Let's just do a quick search, right? S21 FE. So new $600 down to 300. It looks like. This one is the probably the Exynos version, whereas this one is probably the what's it called version? Snapdragon. So, but let's see. So now 73. So comparing an A73, huh? Interesting. Because they're basically about the same price. Hold on one second. Let me do a quick search. Let's go. GSM Arena. All right, and let's compare Samsung S21 FE. S21 FE, and let's compare this to A73. All right. Yeah, sure. Okay, let them fight. All right. So as we can see, so between these two, right? Don't care about the weight so much. They're both IP60 ratings. One is IP68, one's IP67. So the FE has the better water resistance. Both have 120 hertz refresh rate. I don't know the brightness of the S21 FE. Bigger screen on the A73. This one has the better, what do you call it though? The S21 FE has the better screen in terms of protection. All right, now let's see. So again, this will vary based on the region because some of them are going to be Exynos and some of them are going to be Snapdragon. So just know that going in. But let's take peak versus peak. So at the fastest speed, this one is faster. So the S21 FE is faster than the A series, okay? So that is faster phone here, faster than this one. But then we go to two things that may be very important. Storage. This one seemed to have more storage for the price point. I was seeing more 8 gigs at 256. They both have enough, but that's something you should know. However, this has a micro SD card slot, something not having on this one. Again, the S21 FE is faster. The A series, though, does have more storage ultimately. Go down again. Now we have something else. In terms of the camera, the base camera for both phones, this one has 108 megapixels, this one has a 12 megapixels. So this has a similar camera to the Ultra found on the S21 Ultra. So it's the older one, but it does have a better main sensor camera. Ultra wide camera does look to be the same, and this one does not have a zoom camera. This one does. This one has a macro cam and a depth camera, which are worthless. Okay. Video quality. S21 FE is actually better on this end in terms of video quality. In terms of front-facing camera, both are going to be equal in terms of the camera for photo taking, but for video taking, this has 60 frames, whereas this one doesn't. So again, better video quality on this side of the board on the S21. This one has better photo quality though. So again, it's comparable. These are very comparable. And then this is the last one I wanted to take a look at. Battery wise, this one has a bigger battery versus this one. However, it's also a bigger screen because it's 6.7 if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, 6.7 versus 6.4. So ultimately that would be a wash probably for the most part. So is it still better? I would say overall, this is going to be a faster phone and better for videos. The A series will be a better photo quality and have more storage. So there you go. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully it doesn't make it more confusing. But that is the equivalent, that is the comparable one I would compare it to. The A73 is comparable to the S21 FE. Both came out last year. So yeah, one came out, the FE came out in January, and the A73 came out in March. So yeah. Faster S21 FE, better video quality, better camera quality goes to the A series. All right, let's see. S23 Ultra or Note 4, LOL. S23 Ultra is going to be better in every way except for the micro SD card. Do you mean like best at its peak? The Note 4 will always hold a special place in my heart for the one of the best phones at the time. Like it's so good. All right. I'm excited to get the S10 on Tuesday. My brother Ben found it cheap on eBay. Nice. Let's see. Oh, so he ordered one for him and one for me? That's awesome. Very happy. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions loaded. Everybody drink. Let's see. Here Tuesday. Self-cleaning screen, fascinating. Ant-Man Quantumania. How was the 3D distracting? Oh, I didn't watch it in 3D. I refuse to watch any movie in 3D that's not named Avatar. Like Avatar, I sought out 3D. I was like, I'm only going to watch it in 3D because it was made in 3D. Ant-Man was not made in 3D. And I can tell you right now, I can guess the scenes that were probably 3D. And yes, they looked good for those 2 to 5 scenes of magicalness of CGI, and everything else was not necessary for sure. Not necessary. I literally, I'm thinking of the scenes in the movie. Oh, this scene was probably 3D. This scene was probably 3D. This scene was probably 3D. And yeah, they would have been cool for those scenes. But I would never watch that movie in 3D, in my opinion. Wasn't recorded in 3D, so it should not be viewed in 3D. That is my stance on it. If we can have great 3D technology, I'm all for it. If we can have 3D without glasses, because I was wearing my glasses this week, so I would have had to do the stupid 3D glasses on top of glasses BS. Yeah, no, I'd rather have 3D-less glasses, which I've seen this year. I've seen 3 versions. At CES, they had Acer, Asus, and Sony have 3D-less glasses or 3D-less screens that are 3D, and it makes anything you watch in it 3D. The best one I would say was Asus, followed by Sony. Really good quality 3D in there, and if you could do that, I'm all for it. Movie theaters will never pay for that though, because they won't see return on investment for like 10 years. So yeah. Not a fan of verification process companies are implementing. Like, as far as I'm concerned, influencers should be taking a bigger cut of what they do in the platform, in my view. I mean, I can't argue with that, because influencers are literally what make the platform. Yes, the platform made them, but the reason people come back is because of the influencers they like. So it is a synergetic partnership, and for them to charge influencers is influencers are the number one's paying. So yeah. Um, in 5 days, my S23 ownership battery life is insane. Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. I have not had an issue with my battery life at all. I just keep charging it more so because I'm like, okay, I need to have it charged and ready for this video every time when I need to film a video. Daily Motion was so close to YouTube, but nobody uses Daily Motion anymore. And yeah, no, there's so many that were and tried. I got tried to be courted by many of them. Oh God, I'm so sorry. You guys can hear tech kids in the background. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, it happens. I think I'm about to sneeze. Nope, went away. Okay, I thought I was going back in, but no. Let's see. I can speak from personal experience, but I always look forward to your tips and tricks videos and your camera videos. I'm a techie, so any new phone comes out, I always check out your videos first. Thank you so much, Carl. That means a lot. Like I put so much work into those, and I still feel proud that I was one of the originators of those kind of videos. Like I didn't copy anyone when it came to that. I was just like, I'm going to make these videos, and yeah, I feel still proud of that. So I'm still always trying to find things that other ones can't, because I see it, as like, I'm gonna find every single feature, so that if you see one video and it's this one, you will find out everything you need to. That is always my goal. Um, Dislike button was crucial to knowing a video is trash or not. I agree. I'm still rocking the O Snap kickstand. I have second generation, but now third generation is small pop-up socket that can wireless charge. Nice. I have a couple of those, and and now I'm wondering if any of them actually do have the MagSafe connection, because I did have a couple of O Snap stuff from before. All right. Why do you think YouTube doesn't have video editing software for free so creators can edit their videos? Adobe Premiere Pro is really expensive. Um, it would be easier to buy one of the companies, and that's DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve is a free video editing software that is better than Premiere. I'm not exaggerating on that either. It actually renders your video quicker than Premiere does. It is a free video editing software. Now, certain features like color grading, like high end things, yeah, you still are going to want to buy the software, but it's also what Adobe used to be before they got overly excessive greedy. And I subscribe to Adobe, so I still need it for Photoshop. But I try to do zero editing on Premiere now. Ever since I learned and made myself learn DaVinci Resolve, because it is just so much faster at rendering. I was amazed when I did a side-by-side of the same video, and it was from 8 minutes of rendering on Premiere to 4 minutes, and four, it was like rounding up. It was three and change. So yeah, it was just faster, like so much faster at rendering. And that was before. That's when I'm still doing 1080. So you can only imagine how it's going to be when I do 4K. So yeah, it really is something that I was like, wow, this is such a difference. So yeah, it's for sure something that, like, man, really is something that I cannot tell people enough to buy it. The paid for version, by the way, I did buy. I've bought it twice. One for my laptop, and one from when I wanted to start teaching my daughter how to edit video, and so that she could have it. And here's the thing with that. It is one license, one purchase, right? So I still have that. But the crazy thing about DaVinci Resolve is that it is so good that even if you have to buy it one time, $300, it's a lifetime purchase. So I get every single version of DaVinci Resolve for free. Basically, every upgrade is just an automatic upgrade for free. And I bought it, I think, when it was DaVinci Resolve 15. I think is when I bought it 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and 4 years ago. And we're on 18 now. I've gotten every single update, every single thing, and it is getting better and better every year. 18 was the big upgrade that brought collaboration, because that's one thing that Premiere had way better over Resolve, is that, you know, for collaborating people, you can, Premiere is just so good for that, right? You switch it over to from After Effects to Premiere to Lightroom to Photoshop. It's just still more synergistic than Resolve is, because Resolve is for a one-man editing crew. But with this update that it had, it's really good. Is DaVinci Resolve on smartphones? It's not. It just got its very first release into mobile via iPads, and that was in November, I believe. So everyone's waiting, like, is it going to come to smartphones completely now? Because that's very exciting. And it was funny because competition, man, competition's always so good. The literally the minute that, or the day after DaVinci Resolve announced that it was coming to iPads, LumaFusion, which had been on iPads and I don't know if it was on iPhones, but that had been on those platforms, went to Android. That was so awesome, because it was like, oh dang, we actually need more than Apple now. Let's go to Android. And it was just very funny to see. So if you want the best video editing software available on Android, it's LumaFusion. That is the best one for sure. And you can see some gadget guy to show you all the demos and all that kind of stuff, because he's been editing a lot of videos on there. So yeah, really good quality for sure. All right. Let's see. So to answer your question, I think if YouTube bought DaVinci Resolve, that would be very interesting. Not gonna lie, that would be very interesting. Hasselblad is the company that owns DaVinci Resolve too, which is a camera company. So yeah, and they do high-end video editing stuff, mixers and stuff like that. Good evening. So this S23 Ultra, what's your take on it versus the S22? Why did Samsung even repeat the same design? I mean, they didn't feel that they needed to change the design much. I mean, to be fair, for a while what Samsung did, and I think we kind of just got caught up that they were changing it every year. But for a long time, Samsung would change a design and then keep it for another year. So it would be one physical change, one software change, one physical change, one software change. That's what Samsung traditionally did, actually, for a while. You saw it with the S6 to S7. S8 was like S9. S10 was different from S9. But then the S20 was a year change. Then the S21 was a year change. Then the S22 was a year change. So them going back to doing it, oh, we'll keep the same thing basically, was different for us. We were like, what? You're supposed to change the look. We did this for 3 years now. Keep it up. But I rather them change the software more so and keep the similar design. I don't need a physical change every year, as long as you improve what matters, which Samsung did improve the two things that matter most to people. The S23 is far better on camera and battery than the S22. That is worth the upgrade if those two things are the most important thing to you. If not, wait. Even if those things are important to you, but you don't want to spend the difference of money for the trade-in, wait. It's just that simple. It's like, is it good enough that I could say it's worth the upgrade? Yes. Yes, I can. I legit can say it is worth the upgrade for camera and for I was gonna say video. Video is part of the camera, I would say. But for camera and for battery. 3 hours more battery life is like, first legit, that is noticeable. So yeah, that's before I get my hands on it. All right. What do you think about LMG, Flow Plane Channel subscription service? I have not tried Float Plane. I am on an email contact basis with LMG for my other job. So as a company, I think they're awesome. I really do. I buy a lot of their merch. I have, their backpack. I have the screwdriver. Like, I'm a fan of LMG. I really am. Legit a fan. So as a company, I really like them. Float Plane, I think, is more of a side project. To be quite honest, it's a safeguard. If something goes wrong with YouTube, he can bounce back on that, and the company won't go under. That's kind of it, right? Did you get my note I missed about the S22 Ultra and the S23? No, I think I might have missed it, Andy. Please let me know what your note was. I'm still waiting to them. I'm still waiting to see them apologize for the same reason, Ricky. Wait, they haven't yet, have they? I'm not sure what you mean by what apologizing part. I don't know which person I was talking about. Do you think Linus Sebastian would be a great CEO of YouTube, seeing he is a creator? And would Google like someone with more experience? I think Google would like someone with more experience for sure. I also don't think Linus would ever move from Canada, and quite frankly, he would have to really, go into a different office. So I don't think he's available, quite frankly. I don't. But in the tech world, who would I actually, just as you said, Linus, who I would think is a good CEO that I believe could be more of a realistic one? John Legere. What he did with T-Mobile, understanding tech, really doing a lot of things, I think he would be great. Like, I know he kind of threw his hat in for Twitter like a month or so ago to Elon, and when Elon was saying like, oh well, if I would replace myself, like who would be a good one, and I think John Legere would have been a perfect one, but screw Twitter, I don't care as much about it. But YouTube, John Legere for YouTube, I think would be very impressive. And I think, he could learn the industry. It's not an influencer, so I get that, right? It's like, could Mr. Beast be right? He owns several companies, just like Linus does, and everything like that. So while there could be, for sure, it really has to be, and I like the idea of an influencer being it. I just don't know what influencer would be right and wouldn't be a conflict of interest. So just to give you an idea, I mean, I am currently, my current job that I got a promotion on, I am going to be in charge of the influencer program for Newegg. I'm creating it. I'm molding it into what I think is going to be the best program that any company has. So I am all for that concept, right? Like, man, I could actually legit do both sides. Like, help in this way while I'm still doing my stuff. And I'm not really making myself an option for Newegg in terms of an influencer for them. But I like that idea. I'm taking myself out of the equation so that it's not a conflict. But what's really cool about that is that I get to make a program that will benefit influencers, and knowing every other program out there is very interesting. So yeah, it's very interesting to see how that will play out. But that's why I do believe that, yeah, an influencer being a CEO of YouTube would be beneficial, because you literally know all the pain points. But what could be just as beneficial is YouTube do more of what they already do, which is talk to influencers, talk to your top ones, right? Talk to Mr. Beast, talk to Linus, talk to MKBHD, all the other high YouTubers out there, right? That are over 20 million subscribers. Talk to all them, because they'll tell you the pain points. They will tell you the pain points of influencers. And I think if you do that, it'll do a good thing. How good are the photos and videos on Instagram? I will, like I said, I will post some photos tonight or tomorrow morning on Instagram and Twitter, from the phone, and you can tell me how good they represent. If you think they look great, because they do look great on my phone. So yeah, we'll see. Um, Got the pre-order for the S23 Ultra after my Note 8 fell and cracked. It's the screen, 20% bottom half flashing light. Ooh, sorry, man. Hopefully like the new phone. But yeah, I know it can be an unwanted expense when you break your old one. Um, your volume is too low. Is that true? Is my volume pretty low, guys? Let me know in the comments section. Sorry. Um, Thanks for the editing software recommendation. We'll check it out. Oh, I cannot recommend DaVinci Resolve enough, especially again because it's you can literally download it for free. So it's like there's no downside to it. Can you link LumaFusion for Android? If you search LumaFusion on the Play Store, you should download it. I am wary of sending links from the Play Store just because of that strike that I got a while back. So yeah, it's stupid and other people could do it, but it's something that was really sucky for me. So yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Sorry, I will get to the other comments, but Mullet Baby, man, I haven't seen you for a while. Welcome back. Missed you. S23, S23 Plus, and S23 Ultra online pre-orders exceeded expectations, but on Friday, same day sales over the past 72 hours were flat at big box and carrier stores. I think because a lot of influencers were promoting the online stuff, man. I will say that, but yeah. So they exceeded expectations, but the first ones were like that. So yeah, it's very interesting to see. Yeah, I think you should run YouTube. RICKY, the CEO guy. I would tell you what, I would make YouTube better. That's all I'm gonna say. I would make YouTube better. That's my pitch for me as CEO of YouTube. I would make YouTube better. I would know, I know everything that would implement that would be beneficiary to, absolutely. I would make it better. Dang it. I would actually make an influencer program. YouTube should have, they like got rid of it, and there was a program for influencers to get brand products before and to be a part of campaigns. And all these third parties are taking YouTube money. All of them are taking YouTube's money. And YouTube should do it again. But yeah, me for CEO of YouTube. Love it. I'll even take half of what her salary was. I'll take half. That's how good. I don't know what her salary was, but I'm sure it's more than what I was making, anywhere near what I was making. She lives in Silicon Valley, so that's definitely more than I was making. Let's see. Did you enjoy the pay-per-view? I really did. Pay-per-view for WWE Elimination Chamber. Very happy with the women's match. I had fun with Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. Sami Zayn thing. I think it ended great overall, and excited because I am going to WrestleMania in person this year. So excited to attend that event. It'll be my first ever WrestleMania. Oh snap, I think Gen 2 and Gen 3 were work on MagSafe. I don't remember which one I had, so I have to see it. I have a PS Vita. Is it worth keeping? Yeah, why not? Like, why not keep it? There's so much tech that I sold that I was like, man, I wish I still had that. So yeah, I would keep it. Why, just to have it. Just to tell your kids one day, back in my day, this was what we had. This was our smartphone gameplay on the go. Apple apologizing for tracking oopsie. Oh yeah, no, they haven't apologized. They haven't even come forth that it's true, even though it was found out that it was. But whatever. The plan for August is for the next Unpacked is for a new Z Fold, Flip, Fold, and Tab S8 replacement. It's funny, Molo Baby, that you say that, because someone asked me, why isn't the Tab S being replaced? And I would say, if anything, I would see it being replaced when the Fold comes out, because of the fact that it's about 1.5 years for tablets instead of a year. I have absolutely no complaints about my Tab S8 Ultra. I absolutely love it. I honestly, unless it was a really good trade-in, I don't know if I would do it this time. I would see what feature they would come out with if they got rid of the notch. If they got rid of the notch, I'll trade. But yeah, man, I absolutely love my Tab S8 Ultra. I have no complaints whatsoever. The battery life is great. The screen quality is absolutely amazing. I don't know what they would do to get me to get a new tab. Because if they're just upgrading the processor, I really don't care. So yeah, I'm very curious what the Tab S9 would be. Let's see. Breaking news on site. Correspondent Mullet Baby. Yes, absolutely. Let's see. Also, remember the exclusive colors online, not in store for the S23? Yeah, so if you want the exclusive colors, you could only get it online for sure. How long do you think Samsung will stick with their One UI? I don't know. When was One UI launched now? Was it with the S10? I feel like it was with the S10. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But yeah, forever they had I want to say Toy Wiz, but it's Wiz something. I forgot. If anyone can look it up, what was Samsung's old UI called? I feel like it was something Wiz, Toy Wiz, something like that. Or maybe Toy Wiz was the insulting name. But Samsung's old UI, I think, was around for like the S1 to the S9. TouchWiz. I got it before anyone said it. TouchWiz. TouchWiz was, I want to say, around from the S1 to the S9. I think after the S6, they changed, or they didn't didn't call it TouchWiz. They didn't call it TouchWiz anymore. So that, I think, was pretty interesting, because they were ashamed of the name because it was too cartoony. So people called it Toy Wiz. Thank you for everyone firing in TouchWiz now. Everyone in the chat firing in TouchWiz. But yeah, so I really see it as, we'll see. I'm very curious to see what will happen, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they would have. TouchWiz was such a staple. They went to One UI. I think everyone's been pretty happy with One UI. I don't know. I feel like if they would change out One UI, I feel like we're at least 2 years away from it, right? Next year, I think they're going to do a physical change, and then the year after, they're going to do a software change. So maybe if they would change, it would be 2 years from now. Hey, Mullet Baby. Tab S9 Proto Fold design. Oh. Okay. It will come with a hefty price, I'm sure. I forgot how much I paid for my Tab S. Oh my god, if they're going to cheat me on my Tab S trade-in price too. I hope not. There will be influence by Asus and Lenovo all screen designs for future. You know what they if they did this, one thing I love about Lenovo Android tablets, they work as an external monitor directly because of HDMI. So they have an HDMI in. If Samsung would do that on a Tab S9, boom, instant buy. Instant buy, because I always carry my tablet with me. And I've thought about either carrying an external monitor with me or the Lenovo tablet with me, because the Lenovo 13-inch tablet also works as an external monitor. Man, that would be really cool. If that would be an instant buy. Foldable is nice. I'm not going to lie. Foldable does pique my interest. It would just be to have it, though. I don't know. Oh, would Samsung get me with a foldable? They might. Dang you, Samsung. I feel like just for the views, I would have to do it. I don't know. But the if they would do an external HDMI out, HDMI in, like Lenovo has. So Lenovo on one side they have Type C, on the other side they have an HDMI. If they can do that, that would be an amazing feature for them to add. Samsung is making their own magnetic accessories lines. They are testing the alphas now. I figured that the S24 that comes out next year will have Qi 2 standard. So Qi 2 standard is going to have MagSafe essentially built into it. But you can get cases like this that have it built in and then you can use it. So it makes sense that Samsung's going to do their own accessories with MagSafe, because I see a spike in it right now. But that is definitely something that I would love to see more of for sure. All right. But yeah, I think I would assume that they're going to come out with Qi 2 standard next year and essentially have all MagSafe accessories of their own. Do you recommend any good cooling fans for the PS5? Do they actually help? Yes and no. They do keep it cooler, but overall, the design itself is only going to let in so much ventilation. So it will make the area around it cooler, and it will keep it maybe like 5 degrees, 10 degrees cooler. But I can't recommend any because I haven't tested it out myself. I keep it flat, which is the better method to keep your CPU cool. But if you do it vertical, I think that's how most cooling fans have it, is they have it that way. But yeah, that's some of the highlights, I guess. But I don't know any specific one now. If one brand I really do like that I would recommend is Nexigo. I don't know if they make one. Let's see. PS5 cooling Nexigo. I just ordered their what do you call it? Their PSVR. So I am getting the PSVR 2 this week. So hopefully I'll be able to do some videos for it next weekend. But yeah, so maybe this one, just based on the brand, this is one that I would probably recommend. That again, I'm just basing it on the brand, that they do good quality stuff. This one I might recommend. Maybe even a MagSafe tracker to replace the Smart Tag. That's very interesting. Yeah, I will say one thing that I think Samsung, that Apple did better is with their trackers. Apple has so many more accessories that Samsung trackers like just don't have anywhere near the accessories. And I think it's because of their design. So I do hope that if they do make a new tracker, the design is better to invite accessories to be made for it. Did you upgrade to the S23 Ultra? Yes, I talked about a little bit about my experience during the beginning of this episode, and yeah, I'm very happy with it. Galaxy Watch 4 or 5? I would say Galaxy Watch 5 for the updates, and it just seems to have a better overall interface. Now I know certain updates are coming to the 4, but I would probably go with 5, especially for the classic versus Pro. The 5 had a much better battery life than the 4, like a lot better. One UI came out in 2018, I believe. Which phone came out in 2018? Oh, if One UI came out in 2018, then it would have been the S9. I was close. I said the S10. But yeah, so I guess it was the S9 that got rid of TouchWiz. Let me see if I can. When did One UI come out? One UI. Yep, November. Oh, they unveiled. Whoa, so I got it right actually. They unveiled One UI November 7th, 2018, which means the first phone that came out with it would be in 2019, which was the S10. I was right. I just remembered it like because the S10 was such a big change, so I thought that would be it, right? Galaxy Glasses R&D is done. Only a few people have access to the prototype with and without 5G. I'm waiting to see what Apple is. They are waiting to see what Apple is going to release. Oh, I want them to release it now. I want Samsung's augmented reality so much. Galaxy Glasses. I want it. That is a product like take my money. Take my money. I want it so much. So much. Especially because I think their screen technology is going to be better than anyone else at this point. So, yeah. All right, guys. I think we will call that a show. Thank you guys so much for always tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't, go ahead and take a look at the S23 camera video. Even if you don't have one, just play it, like it, comment on it, get all those things, moving it up the algorithm. Because I got my phone about 2 weeks later than everyone else. So I could use the help when it comes to the algorithm. But really would appreciate all you guys' help getting these videos. If you can, watch the S23 videos. The more people watch it and watch the whole video, just leave it on in the background, even if you don't have it. It really does help. It really, really does. Every view, and especially every longer view, helps out the channel immensely. So I really would appreciate it. And as always, just thank you guys for tuning in and coming in and talking with me. I really always appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. I will catch you guys next week. Thank you always so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. This has been RICKY, the YouTube. Oh, got the end. Hey, Jimmy is promo. Make sure you check out that guy's video. He already has like, I think Jimmy, you cranked out what, like 5-10 videos by now, man. Wish I could have hanged out with you more in San Francisco. Go watch Jimmy's promos videos too. His is awesome. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Tips and tricks video will be coming out Tuesday, I believe, and more videos to come out for sure, including the PSVR 2. Getting that on Wednesday, I believe, delivered. Thank you guys always so much for watching again. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy.